Okay, I am going to start my brake test. I'm going to put on my seatbelt. And I legally cannot start my brake test until my air tanks are filled to 120. So I'm going to start my engine and allow my air tanks to reach 120. At this time, I can aid my engine. So I'm going to apply some pressure on the accelerator. I'm listening for the cutout. Once I hear that cutout, then I can start my brake test. And there's the cutout. So I legally can start my test. I'm going to turn my engine off, turn it back into the on position, and I'm going to start with my low air pressure test. Once my gauges sweep and settle, I'm going to release my parking brake, and then I'm going to set a 1-minute timer. If you would please pull out your timer. Maybe. Do you have yours available? Are you?
Here.
If you're recording, you don't have to.
I got you on my phone. Or my watch.
Okay.
Ready?
All right, I'm going to put my foot on the service brake, and when I say go, please hit your timer. Ready? 1, 2, 3, go. And I do not want to lose more than 3 psi in this 1 minute. As you can tell, my gauges dropped just a little bit, but I have not lost more than 2 psi so far. I'm just holding down the brake.
Seconds. Ready? Seconds. Okay, there's the 1 minute.
Okay, and now I am going to pump my service brake, and in between 60 and 70 psi, my low air pressure alarm will sound. I'm going to continue to pump until about 20 to 30 psi, when my spring brakes will activate my parking brake. Once that happens, I know that the low air pressure has been completed, so now I'm going to start my engine, and then I'm going to apply pressure to the accelerator to about 2,000 RPMs, building the pressure back up. In between 60 and 70 psi, the low air pressure alarm will shut off, and I'm just going to continue to idle it at 2,000 RPMs. Pressure alarm has gone off. I'm going to continue to idle it until my air tanks reach 100 psi, and then I will take my foot off the accelerator and allow the system to build on its own to 120 when we listen for the cutout. That takes around 45 seconds. Still holding the accelerator at about 2,000 RPMs. Both tanks. All right, I'm sitting at 100 psi. I took my foot off the accelerator, and it should build to 120 on its own within 45 seconds, and we should hear the cutout at 120. 120 right now. My front air tank is the one that is the lagging one. And that is my cutout. So now my next set is my parking brake. At this time I have to go and unchock my wheels, which means I need to turn my engine off. But first I'm going to go ahead and back up some. Get back in my seat. Put my seatbelt back on. Except for I can't see over it. Start my engine. Shut my door. Okay, and at this time I'm checking to make sure that my parking brake works. So I'm going to leave it engaged. I'm going to put my foot on the service brake, put it into drive, put my foot on the accelerator and apply pressure. Notice my bus didn't move. I'm going to go through every gear doing the same thing. Moving my foot from the brake to the accelerator. Okay, my parking brake is working. My next portion is my service brake. I'm going to make sure that my service brake works as I am pulling forward. I'm making sure my air tanks are at 120 before I move. So now I'm going to put my foot on the service brake, release the parking brake, put it into drive, and I'm going to drive ahead up to 5 miles per hour and then come to a controlled stop, all while checking to see if my steering wheel moves from one side or the other. And that is the service brake. It is working properly. So now I'm going to go into my lights. All of my lighting indicators. I'm going to start with my headlights. Turning on my brights. You can see my indicator works here. My parking brake light is on. Turning on my four-ways. You can see that my four-way indicator came on. My left turn signal indicator. My right turn signal indicator. Then over here on my control panel, I'm going to start with my heat pump. You can hear it humming. My driver's side passenger or rear heater. My passenger side rear heater. All are in working order. My driver's side windshield fan, defrost fan, whichever one you want to call it. This is my strobe light, which is on top of the bus, used for inclement weather. The indicator light on it works. My master switch indicator light works, and I'm going to turn on my amber warning lights, and you can see that the indicator light works there. Then I'm going to open up my service door, and you can see that my indicator light works there. Closing my door, that will turn that off. Then I'm going to turn on my interior lights for my students, all of which are working. Then I'm going to turn on my driver dome light, and that is working. I'm going to turn on my driver's side defrost. I can feel it working. And then I'm going to turn on the driver's side heater, feeling for the air to come out, and it is working. Then I'm going to honk my horn. That is working. I'm going to check my windshield wipers and the windshield washer fluid. Both are working properly, and the windshield wipers are attached properly. They are not dry rotted, and they are touching the windshield correctly. My windshield is in 4 parts in the rubber seal, and the rubber seal is not leaking or dry rotted. My windshield is not cracked or broken, and the chips have been sealed. At this point, I am going to get up and check my emergency equipment. Here is my body fluid cleanup kit. It is securely mounted, fully stocked. My first aid kit is fully mounted, securely mounted, fully stocked. My emergency triangles are in the box, securely mounted. My 1-quart fire extinguisher is charged, in date, ready to be used, and securely mounted. My handrails are not cracked or broken. They are securely mounted, not damaged. My stairwell light is not cracked or broken, and it's securely mounted, and the tread on my stairs are not broken, damaged, or missing any pieces, and there's no tripping hazard. As I come up to my walkway, my walkway has no debris, no tripping hazards, and it's all securely mounted. As I walk back, I'm going to be checking the securement of my seats. They are all in working order. I'm going to check seat belts to make sure that they're in working order and securely mounted. Checking my seats all the way back. My seat belts. When I get back here, I have my emergency exit. It is clearly labeled with instructions on how to use it. Lift up the handle, open the door, and then close it back. On my way up, I'm going to check the bottom of my seats to make sure that they are secure. I have my 2 emergency exit windows with the label and instructions on how to use it. They are not damaged or broken. I have my emergency roof hatch clearly labeled with instructions on how to use it, and it is not leaking, and the rubber seal is not dry rotted. Checking my seats. Checking all of my lights just to make sure that they're not cracked. I have my 2 emergency front windows. They are clearly labeled with instructions on how to use them. There's nothing hindering any student to be able to use them. My second emergency roof hatch is clearly labeled with instructions on how to use it. The rubber seal is not leaking, and it is not dry rotted. Checking the last few seats. Everything is in working order. Now when I get up here, I am going to ask you to please step outside and check my external lights. Put my seatbelt back on. I'm going to start with my headlights, which are on. I'm going to turn on my brights. I'm going to turn on my 4-way flashers. And you can check the sides if you'd like. I'm going to turn on my left turn signal, and please check the one on the side of the bus. I'm going to turn on my right turn signal. Please check the one on the side of my bus. Going to turn on my amber warning lights. I'm going to open up my door to turn on my red lights. And then please check the 3 clearance lights in the front. Close my door, and as she's walking by, please check my running lights. Once she's in position, I will start with my 4-way flashers, left turn signal, right turn signal, my brake light, my reverse light, never taking my foot off the brake. Now my amber warning light, my red lights, and then my 3 clearance lights. Once I'm complete, I'm going to close my door, turn off my master switch, turn off my headlights, turn off my engine, and then go do my No Child Left Behind. And that completes the inside, and now you'll go outside to do the outside of the bus.